So 429 divided by 5. So I wrote it down over there. This number is the dividend. That's what's getting divided. So if you have stocks, if you're in a company and you own stock in a company, the amount of money the company makes, that's the total, the dividend. And then there's 5 people that own stock. So it gets divided by those 5 people, the divisor. Divisor almost sounds like an action word. It's going to divide up that number. So that divisor is on the outside, and the dividend is underneath that we're going to cut up. And you use place value to figure out what we're going to do. You start in the hundreds place. You look at this 5, you look at that 4. Can 5 go into 4? No. So there's nothing above the hundreds. So you slide over to the tens place. And in the tens place, you're looking at this like a 42. So from the tens perspective, how many times can 5 go into 42? So in the tens place, right above the 2, we have an 8. So 8 times 5 from the tens place is 40. And it would terminate right under the tens place. So what that means is it's 400. Because if it's in the tens place, that's actually an 80. In the tens place. 8 tens, 80. And 80 times 5 would be 400. What's the next step in longevity? We subtract. And 9 minus 0, 9. 2 minus 0, 2. 4 minus 4, 0. Okay, I got 29. So now 5 can't go into 2. So we're done in the tens place. So now we go over one more place value. Now we're in the ones place. So we're now looking at this as a 29 from the ones perspective. How many times can 5 go to 29? 5 times. So 5 in the ones place, 5 times 5, we get 25. And then we subtract 29 minus 25, we get a 4. So 5 can't go into 4, and we're at the ones place, so we're done. So this is the quotient. The answer to a division problem, we get a quotient, and then what we do is, this is the remainder, and we used to, when we first learned, this was 85 to the remainder of 4. But when we hit the polynomials, what we're going to do is we're going to write it as the quotient, and we're going to go plus the remainder of 4 over the divisor of 5. Remainder over the divisor. Now what this is, what we just did, 429 divided by 5. Recognize that this is 429 over 5. Division is a fraction. And what we just did is converted this into the mixed number of 85 and 4/5. That's how you convert an improper fraction into a mixed number. You divide by the denominator. It goes in 85 times, with the remainder of 4. When you have numbers, you don't put the plus. 85 plus 4/5 is just 85 and 4/5. That's how you write the mixed number. Okay? When we get the polynomials, we'll have to put the plus. We'll have to put the plus. All right. We go to question number 2. First thing is rewrite it. So the divisor on the outside is 11, and we want to go into 429. And you always look at the very first, place value. 11 into 4, nope. So there's nothing in the hundreds. So you go to the next place value, look at a 42. There's 11 going to 42. How many times? So 3 times. And then you multiply. You pick the quotient value, you multiply 3 times 11, we get 33. Now, since this is in the tens place, the number 33 is going to terminate under the 10 value, which means if it terminates in 10, there's 0 in the ones place. And then when you subtract 9, can't take 3 from 2, so good old borrowing skills. Borrow, we get a 3, we get a 12, that's a 9, 3 minus 3, 0. We have 99. And then we go again. We're now in the ones place. 11 goes into 99 how many times? 9 times. 9 times 11 is 99. Subtract, and we get a remainder of 0. Now you would not go plus 0 over 11 because 0 over 11 is just 0, and 39 plus 0 is just 39. So 429 divided by 11 is just 39. 429 over 11 equals just 39. Reducing fractions. Now, I know you get to use a calculator, but you're not going to be able to use a calculator with variables. First 2 rows are going to be in here. First 2 rows are going to be in here, right? Okay, a little better here. The divisor on the outside, 429 underneath. Start with the hundreds. If you're going to be up in here, try to get in the first 2 rows. I know it's filling up, so at least start with the first 2 rows. You start with a 4. 106 is not going into 4. Nope. Then you go to the 10. 106 is not going into 42. So there's nothing in the ones. There's nothing in the. Nothing in the 100. Nothing in the 10. So the only place you can start from is right here in the ones. Which, hey, that's good news. If I have to start in the ones, I'm going to be done by starting in the ones. I'm going to have only one value that I can use from the ones. Everything else is a remainder. Just like when I started in the tens, I only have to go to the ones next. Okay, but it lines up. That way it gives you an idea of how much further do you have to go. So if I start in the ones, how many times can 106 go into 429? What would you want to try? What? 4. I would try 4. So 106 times the 4, 6 times 4, 24. Carry the 2. 0 times 4 is 0. Okay, 0 plus 2 is 24. And then 1 times 4, we get 424. So if we start with 4, we get 424. And when you subtract, we just get a remainder of 5. So this is 4 plus 5 over 106. Or as a mixed number, 429 divided by 106 equals 4 and 5, 106. $45,086 divided by 25. So on the outside, the divisor is 25. The dividend underneath, 45,086. Yesterday I went blurry and nobody said. Start in the 10,000. This is just a 4. 25 is not going into 4. So now you go to the thousands place, you're looking at 45. So in the thousands place, how many times can 25 go into 45? Once. Right here, one time. So in the thousands place, we get 25,000. Because this right here would be 1,000. And then you subtract. Six, 8, 0, 0. Messy. That'd be neat. So I made a point of earlier. 6, 8, 0, 0, 4 minus 2, 2. So 1,086. 25 does not go into 20. So we're done in the thousands place. So we slide over to the hundreds place. So from the hundreds point of view, this is 200. 200. How many times can 25 go into 200? 8. 8 times. Good. So in the hundreds place, this is 8. So 1,800. So 8 times 25 is exactly 200. That means 20,000 in the hundreds. And then we subtract. And we get 86. So now and this is where it gets tricky. You're looking at 86. And you, hey, 25 goes into 86 how many times? 3. 30 times. So we put this right here, 3. And you write down 103. And that's wrong. Place value. The next place value, this is in the thousand. This is in the hundreds. We're now in the tens place. How many times can 25 go into 8? 0. 0 times. 0 times. Then we slide over to the ones place where now you have 86 from the ones perspective. How many times can 25 go into 86? 3 times. So right there's the 3. 3 times 25, 75, subtract. 86 minus 75 is 11. So plus 11 over 25. 1,803, 1803. Hey, that was a good movie with Sam Jackson and John Cusack. Okay, it's creepy. Creepy. Not as creepy as my son's director buddy who did his wedding ceremony. Drive back. Available today on stream or last week. Available on streaming, all streaming services. Drive back. Build up in the work. Creepy. Compare this. And 11/25. You know what? Oops. How do I know that's 24/4 without actually doing anything? Are you checking my work? Or are you writing a text?
I'm looking up drive back.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Go for it. That's fine. That's fine. Hey. And I figured out it was the tech theater in Madera, like special school, not special school, but the focus school. It was the tech is where it teaches that. But how do I get 0.44 without actually having it? if I punch this up on the calculator, 1,803.44, because the 0.44 is coming from this. I'm converting 11 over 25 into 0.44. Why and how quickly? What decimal place is this for? 100. This is tenths, where this is, the 24 is the tenth, so if I like this would be 40 cents, tenths. And then this is the 100, so that would be where the pennies are. So this is 44 over 100, which means 11 over 25. What I did was, if you had 11 over 25 on a quiz and you want to know what your percentage is, out of 100 multiplied by 4, multiplied by 4, we get 44 hundredths, 0.44. Okay.
Don't we look with quarters, or you can do it like two?
Well, if you can change it to exactly 100, you'll know the percentage exact. So if I had, 30 points, I can't change 30 with just a nice integer into exact 100. So I would just divide by 30, and then I'll get a percentage. But a quarter, out of 10 points, I'd multiply by 10. If it's out of 20 points, I'd multiply by 5. Because I can change 20 into 100.
As long as it's 100.
As long as I can make a denominator of 100, I'll know the percentage. If it's out of 50 points, you multiply by 2. Otherwise, if it's like your test was out of 140 and you got 87 out of 140, you just go 87 divided by 140. And that'll give you a percent. Get a decimal that you can change to a percent. Okay. All right. So here's the preview. Now, just watch. Don't stress about trying to keep up. But I'm going to walk you through what we're going to do, because we will do it in detail in 10. Everything we just did is so we can do this. X squared minus 3x plus 5 divided by x plus 2. So we're dividing by x plus 2, that's the divisor. Goes into how many times? X squared minus 3x plus a 5. First thing we did over here, we looked at the 25. And we looked at 4 in the 10,000. How many times does it go in? It doesn't go in at all. So then we went over another place down. 25 goes in 45. First thing we do is we look at the end. I don't care about the 2. Just look at that. Then I look at this first one. I don't care about anything else. I look at this first. This one and this one. I want x squared. I want to multiply and get x squared. What times this x would make an x squared?
Another x.
Another x. X times x is the only way to make x squared. Place that. So if I'm going to multiply by an x, it would go above the x's. That's where it's going to start. Just like it would go above the thousands, because that's where I'm starting. Which is nice, because now I know I'm just going to have to go one more place down. That'll be the next number. When you multiply, I'm multiplying times these two. So I'm going to take that x now, and I multiply times the entire divisor, which means I have to distribute. X times x is x squared. X times 2 is 2x. So I get x squared, plus 2x. What's the next step in long division?
You bring down the
What's the next step? Subtraction. The next step is we would subtract. Now, you would have to do this. Minus the whole thing. You know how hard I work trying to get you guys to put parentheses around anything? You know what's gonna happen when you put parentheses? You would distribute the negative, right? So let's just say, since you're gonna subtract, you're gonna subtract each one. Distribute the parentheses, you're gonna subtract each one. You better get 0 right here. That's why you chose x in the first place. X squared minus x squared, 0. Over here, negative 3x minus 2x, negative 3 minus 2, negative 5x, and then you bring down the plus 5. Okay, just like I subtracted the 25,000 and I got 20,086. And then we go again. And we want to know what times this x right here is going to give me a negative 5x. So what times this x is going to give me a negative 5 times x? What would I have to multiply by?
-5.
A negative 5. The only way to get the negative 5x that I want is I have to multiply by a negative 5. So I'm going to multiply by negative 5 right there. So that's the next term. Remember, when you put that there, you're going to multiply by both of these. So it's that negative 5 times the divisor, times x plus 2. Distribute negative 5x minus 10. And then you're gonna subtract. Now watch what happens here. You subtract each one. This is crucial. Negative 5x minus negative 5x. Remember, they better cancel out. What happens when you subtract a negative? It becomes a positive. When I subtract a negative, it becomes a positive. So look what I wrote. Minus this negative, so they become a positive. Negative 5x plus 5x, that's a 0. 5 minus negative 10 becomes plus 10. 5 plus 10, that's a 15. X does not go into 15. So that's my remainder, and I put the remainder 15 over the divisor x plus 2. That's what we're going to be doing.
I'm a little confused on how you get to negative 5.
So I wrote it over here. This x, I want negative 5x.
Okay.
What times this x here is going to give me the negative 5x that I need? So what times x makes that? I needed negative 5.
Okay. So you're plugging in.
So it's kind of like I'm writing it like this. I have this x right here. I want to make that in red. I want to make that. I need this. I have this. I have that, and I need this. So what am I going to need? What am I going to use right here? What's going to happen to get that? What's missing is I need negative 5 to make that work. So that's why I use the negative 5. That's what made my choice.
And so if I was wrapping my head around it, so like you are plugging in to try to just make it work out.
Yeah, I want to get that, so this adds up to here.
And you could just keep going and guesstimating until you get it. Okay.
All right, back then. Make sure if you came in late for the co-rec, I get you.